Vulnerability is a superpower. The ability to allow yourself to be vulnerable, that's a gift, you feel what I'm saying? And a lot of people can do that. And in this video, I'm gonna be explaining how you can use it, how you can be vulnerable, allow yourself to be vulnerable, and how it will benefit you, you feel what I'm saying to you? There's major benefits that we don't see. A lot of times, like, if I make myself vulnerable, then I can be exposed. I can put myself in situations that are uncomfortable. I can allow myself to be seen in a certain way, you feel what I'm saying? But what it's about is about control. You feel what I'm saying to you? You don't want people to be able to control your image, how you look, and so on and so forth. But by being vulnerable, I'm telling you now, there's so many perks, so many benefits, and I'm gonna get into it so that you can understand why being vulnerable is a superpower. My name is Christopher Daniels, and I help people to overcome self-sabotage and live a purpose-driven life. And that's through mindset coaching and content creation. Yeah, if you're new to the page or the channel, just want to say welcome. And if you're back here again, welcome back to you also. Yeah, so without further ado, let's get into it. Vulnerability. And the reason why I feel like this is such an important topic is because me personally, I found it difficult for a very long time to actually allow myself to be vulnerable. I used to hold my guard up. I was very defensive-minded, like John Terry, you know what I'm saying to you? So I wasn't allowing anybody to penetrate my space. Why did that happen? First and foremost, it's important to understand why we keep our guard up before even understanding why you should take it down. So for me personally, I used to hold my guard up because of how I wanted to be perceived versus how I was being perceived. So I was being, well, in school, I was known as somebody that's very unintelligent, bottom set, the bottom of all my classes. Any class that you went to go find me, like it will be like the bottom. Like, where's Chris? He's in the bottom set. You know what I'm saying to you? It was that. And because of that, it was like, I felt like, hey, I don't want people to know that I'm in the lower sets, but everybody did know. So when people would speak out to me, I found that difficult to articulate myself, to express my feelings and my thoughts, because I was in the lower sets. I was known as somebody that's unintelligent. And by having all of these attachments, I just felt like somebody that couldn't really express. And to make myself vulnerable, to put my hand up in like an assembly or to put my hand up in any space, I would not do it. Because again, that's making myself vulnerable. I'm already known as somebody that's unintelligent. Why would I do that? I've already got this title. And a lot of it's always linked into what we believe about ourselves already, who we believe we are. And we believe that, or at that time, I believe that by making myself vulnerable, I can make myself look like a fool at any time. Yeah, so anywhere I went, I felt like that guy, because again, that's what I was called at school, so that's who I thought I was. Even if I go to the shop to buy something, I still see myself as an unintelligent person. So communicating with the shopkeeper, sometimes I even found that difficult because I'm making myself vulnerable, I'm exposing. Maybe I don't know how to say this or say that, or I don't know the correct pronunciation of something. So again, just by communicating, I'm making myself vulnerable. So there's vulnerability in almost everything. That's the first thing that we need to see, yeah, or understand. Because first and foremost, if you don't understand the areas of your life in which you can be vulnerable, you won't be able to understand how not being vulnerable may be blocking you currently, yeah? So what changed? And why is it important to change, I must even say. So for me, what changed was allowing myself to get things wrong, giving myself that space to do things wrong. And one thing that allowed me to do that was sports. Yeah, sports and, yes, gym's connected to sports, so I'll class that, I'll put it under the same bracket, yeah? So sports and gym, yeah? Literally, the reason why that allowed me is because I found it fun, I found it something that I knew that I was good at anyway. So I didn't feel vulnerable because I knew I'm good at this. So I give myself that space to fail, get things wrong. Like basketball. I remember, obviously, when you shoot, you have one hand that you shoot with predominantly your right or your left. I started shooting. I remember I used to use two hands. People would laugh at me. But I kept shooting. That's because I knew, okay, cool, with time, course I'm going to get better. But at that starting process, I had to make myself vulnerable. But by making myself vulnerable at the beginning, I was then able to get a lot better and improve and grow. You feel what I'm saying to you? So I was able to grow because I had made myself vulnerable. And that vulnerability there was okay, being laughed at, being looked at in a certain way, you feel that I felt uncomfortable with, but I had to go through that in order to become better. And that's the same with filming, like certain videos that I make, I don't know how I was going to be received when I started making these videos. I'm like, okay, I'm talking to the camera, people are going to see me. What thoughts are they going to have of me? And again, I had to make myself vulnerable to be able to do this, to put this out there. And for me, to being somebody that felt like very cautious of how people perceive me, because again, like school, I'm not going to lie, like when I was labeled as that lower set kid, that touched me a lot. You feel what I'm saying? It had a big impact on a lot of my life. So for me to be able to come out and start expressing like this, it took a lot for me. But there've been so many rewards for me making myself vulnerable. Now I'm coaching, I'm working with clients, I'm helping them to overcome their limiting beliefs. You feel what I'm saying to you? And that came from me making myself vulnerable. You feel like I'm working with people, I'm doing videos like these which I enjoy, people are benefiting from me speaking to them, and that's me making myself vulnerable, putting my guard down. Yeah, I put my guard down, my barriers are down now, you get me? So at the same time, I'm opening myself up to criticism. People can say, Chris, what you're saying is nonsense. Yeah, I disagree, but that's fine, say what you want to say. And at the same time, people can say, I love what you're saying, it's amazing. But end of the day, I'm doing it because I know that it will benefit people, you feel what I'm saying to you? And that's my intention. And at the same time, I know that, cool, some people are going to think I'm talking nonsense, but that's fine. I'm not doing it for them, you know what I'm saying to you? I'm not doing it for you, you get me? So the main thing is this, being able to know why you're doing what you're doing and allow yourself to be vulnerable. You're going to be opening yourself up to criticism, but that's fine. That's not what it's about. Being like courageous enough, yeah? You gotta think about it. Vulnerable sounds like a weakness. I'm vulnerable. Somebody's vulnerable is a weak. No, it's not. It takes courage to put yourself in a position where you are vulnerable. Yeah, it's courageous to make yourself vulnerable because you are putting yourself. Or sometimes there's other people that are forcing it upon you. But in a lot of instances, it's you that's putting yourself in a situation to be vulnerable, so that you're exposing yourself so that you can bring something in. Yeah, exposure so that you can bring something in. You feel what I'm saying? Again, like I said with this, I had to expose myself, put myself in front of camera, in front of people. I don't know who's watching my video. I don't have a clue. But at the same time, I put myself in that position because I know that people can benefit from it, and at the same time, I enjoy doing it, yeah? The same thing with vlogging. I started vlogging. Again, I'm walking around in the street with a camera holding it like this, looking like a, you feel what I'm saying to you? But I didn't care. For me, the main thing from that was being able to understand that I am putting myself in a vulnerable position, but I'm learning how to communicate how I want to. I'm learning how to be my authentic self. I'm learning how to articulate myself in spaces that I don't feel the most comfortable. You know what I'm saying to you? So vulnerability will always be a superpower, yeah? And we need to understand that. The quicker you understand that, the better. Because once you understand that, you can start positioning yourself in places that allows you to again, gain more exposure. Yeah, you're gaining more exposure. Like a lot of people say, I'm not popular at the moment, but I want more exposure. Or you have a business, my business is not getting enough exposure. Exposure, opening up, vulnerability, you're open, you feel what I'm saying? People want their business to be exposed so that more people can come in, yeah? They want more people to come in, so you have to expose yourself. And by exposing yourself, you're making yourself more vulnerable. Vulnerability is not a bad thing, you know what I'm saying to you? Again, it takes courage to open a business and allow people to see it, because people are going to judge it. This business is trash. This business is terrible. This business is awful. They can say what they want to say, but you need to allow them to see. You need to expose yourself. You need your business to gain exposure so that people can purchase your goods but at the same time, they can criticize it. So there's two sides of everything. You feel what I'm saying to you? So don't think about vulnerability being one way, yeah? So at the beginning phases, what happens is, cool, you make mistakes, you get things wrong, but in the long run, vulnerability will pay off. You feel what I'm saying to you? And it has done, and it's doing for me. Like, I'm sitting here, I don't care. You don't like the video, that's fine, that's okay. You love the video, cool, sweet. You feel what I'm saying to you? But at the end of the day, I'm gonna be making my videos, I'm gonna be doing what I'm doing, I'm gonna be making myself vulnerable, I'm gonna be speaking about personal stuff. Why? Because I can. You feel me? So yeah, man, don't stress, don't panic. Just understand that vulnerability is a superpower. Yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure that you do smash the like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe, yeah? Hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any future videos also. And with that being said, I'm done. Blessings, I'll see you next time.